New Orleans ladies, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any, like, where are the men? And I know you're like, no, babe, that's what we're asking you. But now I'm asking you, where are they? Because I've had like 3 seemingly good men respond to my call for single men in New Orleans. I don't understand. And I see some of you men, looking at my videos and my profile and saving them. What are you waiting for? Send me a message. Stop being weird.
Ladies, unfortunately, this is not a location issue. This is something that is happening across the board everywhere. Because men today have listened to the message that you prefer the bear over a man, the message that you don't want to be approached in public, the message that good men are like a needle in a haystack. And unfortunately, that means that he is going to have to work very, very, very hard at convincing you that he's one of those good men. Unfortunately, that means that that man is going to have an immense amount of energy to put in your direction. And honestly, in today's society where he's putting in a ton of effort just to survive, just to work a job, to build up his career, to build up his finances, that means that for a lot of these good men, dating has been pushed off to the side. It's not a priority to them. So you ask where to find these good men, they're either home, working, or just trying to avoid people.
Riddle me this. Riddle me fucking this, okay? What is with, I'm going to say people, re-engaging in a conversation with you, re-engaging communication with you, only for them to fall off the face of the fucking earth and leave you undelivered for 24 hours? Why don't you just leave me alone? Why did you re-engage? This is why I stay single. This is why I don't give people the time of day. Because anytime I'm even remotely fucking interested, ghost. Is this dating in 2025? This is what it is? Oh, I retired. I'm fucking out, dude. I am out. I'm going to do some arts and crafts because this... No fucking way, dude. I'm out.
If you're one of those women who believe that men are the problem in dating, or that there are no good men left in the world, or guys are only interested in sex, or the quality of men has gotten so low that it's just not worth dating anymore, I want you to stop. Because the chances are you're dating like you're scrolling on TikTok, just going along hoping something amazing will pop up. And that shit, it doesn't work. You have to be intentional. You have to know exactly what you want in order to get exactly what you want. And does that mean that you're going to spend less time going out on dates? Absolutely. Does that mean you're going to eliminate guys a lot faster because they don't meet your standards? Because they don't fit into the mold that you're looking for? Absolutely. Isn't that a good thing? You're not talking about buying a new car. You're not talking about getting a new watch or a piece of jewelry. You're talking about the man that you want lying next to you, the man that you are intimate with, the man who becomes a partner in your life. If that's what you're really looking for, then you have to be intentional. Think about this. The times in your life when you've gotten exactly what you've wanted, it's because you were very, very specific. And then you have to look at yourself. Because if you don't admit that your definition of love is broken, then you're just going to keep on getting that shitty old definition that you've been attached to since you were little. Because that's what your subconscious thinks that you want, okay? So it's not the men. Men are not the problem. Yes, there are a lot of shitty men. Why are they even getting close to you? Why do you even know about them? They shouldn't be anywhere near you. If you want to stop getting shitty results in your dating, if you want to stop being so disappointed and bitter about what's going on in the dating world, well, then the first thing you have to do is to be really, really intentional and clear about what you are looking for. It all starts from there. Remember to like and follow on Instagram in case we lose TikTok. If you want more of this, just reach out and let me know. Hope this helps.
Ladies, if you convince yourself that the dating world has collapsed because men suddenly lost their value, I need you to hear something without flinching. Men are not vanishing, and they're not becoming incapable of connection. What's happening is that many women have adopted beliefs that sabotage their own chances before a single conversation even begins. The moment you assume every man is flawed, beneath you, or unworthy of effort, you've already closed the door on opportunities you never even gave a chance to develop. You'll often say the pool is dry, but the real issue is that too many women approach dating with filters designed to fail. Standards are not the problem. Hostility, entitlement, and automatic suspicion are. There are men who genuinely want partnership, depth, and consistency, but they're not interested in battling negativity just to prove their worth. Men don't disappear. They simply walk away from energy that feels dismissive or combative. The narrative that men today don't try is becoming a shield many women use to avoid self-reflection. Men notice attitudes, tone, behavior, and emotional availability just as much as women do. If you carry frustration into every interaction, or if connection only matters when a man fits a checklist built from unrealistic comparisons, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. The outcome is not caused by a shortage of strong men. It's the result of an approach that pushes them out before they can even show who they are. Dating in 2025 isn't a battlefield unless you make it one. Women who focus on growth, openness, and genuine communication still find the partners they're looking for. The ones who cling to bitterness or expect perfection from others while ignoring their own contribution end up cycling through the same stories. Successful relationships aren't luck. They reflect the mindset you bring to the table. If the outcomes keep repeating, the common factor isn't men, it's the pattern. If you want a different experience, the shift begins with your attitude, not the entire male population. Men respond to respect, interest, and sincerity, traits that create connection rather than conflict. You can continue insisting the world is out of good men, or you can choose to adjust your behavior and see possibilities appear where you once saw problems. Your results won't change until you do.
Oh, hey, story time. So, I was thinking I wanted a boyfriend. And then I realized, 2025 dating really gives me the ick. It's quite unfortunate that the pool that we have to pull from is the way it is. And I really wish things were different. And, sometimes I wish I could go back in time. But, with therapy, I've come to the point where I've realized that you can't go back in time. We are here. We get what we get, and we get what we get. So, date, don't date, get married, get divorced, do whatever the fuck you want, because as long as it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. All right? That's my take.
She said dating in 2025 feels chaotic, and that everyone should just live however they want, married, separated, or single. But the moment she added, "As for me, I'll stay single," her tone revealed something deeper. That wasn't empowerment speaking. That was exhaustion. That was someone who's walked through relationships without truly understanding how her choices shape the outcome. And now she's pretending this path is freedom instead of retreat. A lot of women echo the same message online, calling it independence, when in reality it's a reaction to unresolved mistakes. Instead of recognizing how their behavior, expectations, and patterns contributed to what fell apart, they package avoidance as self-care. Men see through that. Men can tell when someone has given up on accountability and replaced it with slogans. What's wild about dating isn't men. It's how many women refuse to examine their own role in their heartbreaks. Walking away is easy when you don't look at the habits that created the damage. Repeating the same approach while expecting a different result only leads to more disappointment. Many women aren't single because they want peace. They're single because they never corrected the behaviors that kept pushing healthy partners away. Now, some of them stand online giving advice that sounds confident but is rooted in their own hurt. They tell others to embrace solitude while never admitting their choices are what led them there. Men aren't the cause of this cycle. Women who refuse growth are. Refusing to learn from past relationships guarantees that every new one fails before it even starts. Choosing to remain alone isn't the issue. Claiming that men are the reason for that choice while ignoring personal responsibility is. If women truly want meaningful connections, they have to stop running from their own patterns. A different result requires a different approach. not another declaration of independence built on disappointment.
You guys, I just can't find a single man that I like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just keep going on these dates and I find myself getting bored. I'm bored on these dates. It's draining. I feel like I have to make the conversation. I have to, like, really make things flow. They're not flowing naturally. And then dating gets draining and then it's just a circle. It's a circle. You know what I mean? Where, like, I just don't know. I think it's the apps, because here's the other thing. People are like, oh my God, you go on so many dates. They're app dates. They don't count. Because in real life, if you're meeting people and then you're saying yes to dates, you already have an idea, because you've met them in person, if you're interested or not. So already you're light years ahead, okay, of somebody going on a dating app date where you're judging it off of what, photos and a few prompts and maybe a little conversation via text. Like, no, it doesn't count. So now in this day and age when you're like, oh my God, why are all these people going on all these dating app dates? Because we don't know these people. They're strangers. They're strangers. This isn't like a date that a guy asked me on that I knew in real life and, like, already had a little bit of a crush on. Okay, that's why people have more luck when they actually date in real life. The problem is everyone's antisocial these days. No one's meeting in person. So if no one's meeting in person, everyone's meeting online. We're all just going on 1,000 dates and not meeting a single person we like. Or at least I'm not meeting a single person I like. And maybe, you know, you could be like, Renee, you're the problem. Maybe I am. Maybe I am, but I still want to date a man I like. I'm so sorry.
She said it herself. Dating in 2025 feels rough, confusing, and draining. She wants to enjoy her lover-girl phase, but she can't seem to connect with any man she genuinely desires. That frustration doesn't come from men disappearing. It comes from her chasing excitement instead of substance. You can't expect meaningful connection while prioritizing surface-level interactions built for quick thrills. Most women keep blaming the dating pool, but overlook how their own approach creates the chaos they complain about. They jump from app to app, treating men like options on a menu, and then wonder why nothing feels real. Men aren't running away from relationships. They're stepping back from women who treat dating like entertainment instead of partnership. Dating apps aren't the issue. They become a problem when women use them to fill boredom instead of seriously looking for someone compatible. Constant swiping trains you to expect instant perfection, and when real men with real flaws show up, you dismiss them before they even get a chance. That cycle doesn't happen to women. It's created by them. She called dating a distraction from living. And she's right, but not for the reason she thinks. It becomes a distraction when women chase attention instead of connection. They get caught up in validation, compliments, and the fantasy version of love, while ignoring the behavior needed to build something lasting. You can't find a man you truly like if you refuse to step away from habits that only attract short-term attention. The reason she can't find a man she actually wants isn't because men are failing her. It's because she hasn't adjusted her mindset. If you treat dating like a game, you'll only meet players. If you treat men like disposable choices, you'll never see the ones who could actually give you what you claim to be looking for. The cycle continues until women decide to approach dating with maturity, not impulse.
There are not enough eligible bachelors left on this planet, statistically. I've just heard it on a podcast and it sent me into a spiral. In fact, I heard it a few months ago on a podcast and it just keeps coming up in my head because basically, do you know how, like, you always see the hot lads are always taken, they've already got girlfriends, but all the hot girls are single, and I'm always like, how does this work? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's because there are genuinely not enough men for the women. Like, apparently, because, so the theory is that because there's been a change in gender roles, what women used to look for in a man, we don't look for as much. We don't need the financial security. They don't need to be the breadwinner. Like, we can kind of fend for ourselves. Like, we've got jobs. Like, we're going up in the world. And sometimes, like you just don't need it, right? So basically, as the women have lifted their bar of what they look for in a man because they don't need the basic necessities anymore, not enough men have come up to meet that. Like, it's just not the same because technically, like, our lives have changed a lot more than theirs have in the past few hundred years. And so basically what they were saying is, if you think of, like, one eligible bachelor, like, maybe very attractive, got a lot of money or good job or all of those different things, think of all the attributes. One person with that. You've got, like, 5 girls, I don't want to use the word in competition, but basically in competition for that man. And then what happens is he gets taken by one of them. And then instead of having the other 4 men and the 4 women get together, women are happily single. So the 4 women will just be single or go and compete for the next number one. Like, basically, the girls' standards are too high, but none of us are going to lower our standards. So it's like, how do you fix the problem? And it sent me, I was like, how do we fix this problem? And so we said the way to fix it is to go back to the school years, and you make all the boys go a year lower and all the girls go a year higher so the boys can catch up, and then it's like problem solved. But I was like, A, none of the schools are going to do that, and B, I'm past school. Like, I'm past that. So what are we doing for us? And then it's basically just that I need to be top 1%, which isn't great because I come on TikTok with no makeup, I wear sweats all the time. Like, I'm just like, okay, cool. But I'm fine in other ways. So other ways are going to help me win, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, it sent me into a crisis. I mean, you can choose not to believe this and you can be like, oh no, there's loads of us for all of us. But I don't know, I'm starting to look around and I'm really starting to question whether the podcast was right or not. And it was from, if you want to listen to it, it was the Diary of a CEO, honestly, months ago. I'll try and find it and put it on my Instagram story, but let me know what you think.
She asked again, are there not enough men left? But framed it as if men simply need to rise to some new standard. That question alone reveals how many women overlook their own role in the disconnect. Instead of examining the expectations they set, they frame the entire dating world as a male shortcoming. It's easier to demand change from men than to adjust unrealistic ideals that many women carry into modern dating. One of the biggest issues is how common it's become for women to chase rare lifestyles while overlooking the reality of what they bring to the table. Wanting a man who earns top income is not wrong, but treating it as something owed creates frustration. Not every woman will end up with a man in that bracket, and the disappointment that follows isn't caused by men. It's caused by expectations that don't match the actual dating landscape. Another challenge is how certain women assume admiration should be automatic. Self-respect guides every interaction, and men respond to that more than anything. When a woman carries herself with maturity, clarity, and grounded standards, she stands out. But when her choices contradict the values she claims to have, respect naturally fades. That dynamic isn't caused by men refusing to appreciate women. It's a response to inconsistent behavior. Some women believe physical appearance alone should guarantee access to high-caliber men, without realizing that the men they want have endless options. Being attractive might open the door, but it doesn't secure a future. Men with stability, vision, and discipline look for qualities that last: character, purpose, emotional intelligence. When a woman prioritizes image over growth, she limits herself and pushes out the very men she says she desires. The dating frustrations many women face today don't come from a shortage of men. They come from overlooking their own patterns while demanding perfection from the opposite side. Progress begins the moment women shift from wishing for elite outcomes to developing the qualities that build long-term partnership. Without that shift, the same cycle repeats, and the same questions keep returning.
Women nowadays will literally be like, I can't find any good men. There are no good men left. And then they'll be like, I just need 6 feet, about like 6 inches, and like 6 figures.
Even if this video was just meant for fun, it's still another case of men acting like women have impossible standards so that they feel better about themselves when they don't meet them. And it bothers me because these guys are acting like women are looking down on men who they would consider less than perfect. But have you ever heard a woman talk about a bum who she's in love with? Because she'll make every excuse in the world for why that man is incredible and just misunderstood. So let's say, for example, that a man has no job. She's not going to let you sit there and call him unemployed. No, she's going to tell you how it's probably because no one ever encouraged him and that he's going to be able to do anything he sets his mind to once she just believes in him. You're acting like women will only date men who make 6 figures, but I know women who are working 2 jobs with full insurance and a 401k who are dating men with 60 cents in their bank account because she thinks he has potential. I don't know how you can act like women will only settle for rich men anyways when most families are living paycheck to paycheck and can't survive on one income, because I think that means they married for love. And don't even get me started on what's between the legs, because there are women in 30-year marriages who have never successfully had a no, and you're going to act like women are out here throwing the whole man away because of his size? Because I don't think so. In fact, there are women out here faking O's so that the men in their lives don't feel inadequate, and yet you're going to act like we're out here bringing measuring tapes to our coffee dates? And sure, when it comes to height, maybe some women do have a preference for men who can reach the top shelf or the cookie jar, but that's all subject to change. If he's a good man with good qualities, then she may just fall in love and try to convert the whole world talking about how we love a short king. Listen, the truth is that even you don't believe this nonsense, because if you really believed that women had impossible standards, then you wouldn't be telling them to pick better men at every opportunity. So when I see videos like this, I realize that they're usually not mad about what women want. They're just mad that women don't want them.
She insisted that when women say there are no good men left, It has nothing to do with finances. But the moment you ask what they're referring to, the answer becomes vague. Many of them shut down the conversation completely, like she did when she blocked him, even though he was obviously joking. That reaction reveals more than the comment itself. It shows how quick some women are to dodge accountability for the standards they can't clearly explain. A large portion of women repeat that phrase without ever examining their own decisions. They keep choosing the same type of man, overlooking the stable ones, dismissing men who don't fit their fantasy image, and then wondering why they end up disappointed. That pattern doesn't come from a shortage of good men. It comes from women overlooking compatible partners because they're chasing a version of love that exists only in their imagination. The projection builds, and instead of admitting that their approach needs a reset, some women direct their frustration outward. They create narratives about men being inadequate, while ignoring how their own behavior pushes away the very partners they claim they want. The statistics about rising singlehood don't appear out of nowhere. They're tied directly to these choices. If the pattern continues unchanged, the outcome will stay the same. This is exactly why many men are expanding their dating options. Not because they hate anyone, but because they're tired of engaging with women who reject honest dialogue and rely on contradictions. Men want cooperation, warmth, and balanced expectations. When they don't find that consistently in their immediate environment, they naturally start looking elsewhere. It's not a trend. It's a response to behavior that makes connection incredibly difficult. Some women think saying there are no good men protect their ego, but all it does is highlight that they're not willing to adjust. Compatibility doesn't grow from rigid demands or defensiveness. Men aren't disappearing. They're stepping away from women whose actions create barriers that never needed to exist. The future will look very different for the women who refuse to reflect versus the ones who finally do.
Girls, we gotta talk. I don't want to have an absolute distaste for men anymore. I feel like it's taking a lot of the positive energy that I have in my life. I would be the happiest person ever if men didn't exist. A little exaggerating, obviously, because I am attracted to men and I would like to marry a man. But every day I'm just a man. I hear it on the news, I see it on social media. A man is just like, why are you doing that? Why are you being that way? Why are you like that? Why are you thinking that way? Why are you treating her that way? Why are you acting this way? Why are you doing this? And I'm just like, gosh, why can't you guys meet me halfway? I'm not saying be perfect like women. I don't want to hear, I know women aren't perfect, but you know what I'm trying to say? And it's just a little bit exhausting for me waking up every day and it's like, oh, what did they do today? And so here's my question. I'm 50 seconds in. I haven't gotten to the point. Where do all the good men hang out? What are all the good men doing? How do I find and associate myself with the good men? My thesis is that they're snatched up. They get snatched up real quick. As soon as there's a good man, the women are like, ah! Lock him up, seal him off. Solitary confinement. You are not gonna get, So that's my theory, is that's where all the good men are. They're not outside for sure. But just for everyone else, like, where are the good men? I think I need to be enveloped and surrounded by good men. I just don't know where they're at, where they're hanging out. Are they on social media? Do they hang out at the beach? Are they golfing? Are they reading a book at a library? What are they doing? And I think if I surround myself with good, solid men, I will have obviously a different outlook on men. But honestly, I am surrounded by men, just like your average man. Am I making sense? I don't know. I just woke up today tired of it all. I'm tired of the men. I'm tired of it all.
She asks where caring, reliable, grounded men spend their time, almost as if they vanished. The truth is they haven't disappeared. They've simply stopped putting themselves in places where their effort is wasted. Many women overlook the quiet, consistent men because they're not chasing attention online or flooding dating apps. They're living steady lives while women keep searching in the wrong spaces. A big reason these men seem invisible is because a lot of women overlook any man who isn't actively pursuing them. But solid men have learned that chasing only gets them disrespected, ignored, or treated as a backup plan. They've stepped away from giving energy to women who don't reciprocate, which is why so many women think they're nowhere to be found. They're present. You're just not seeing them because your attention is focused elsewhere. Women often expect these good men to be loud, visible, and constantly available. But men who value themselves aren't spending time trying to impress women who don't appreciate consistency. If a woman is used to excitement or chaos, she'll miss the man who brings stability. That's not a shortage of men. That's a result of women filtering out the exact qualities they claim to want. Meanwhile, these men are investing in their lives, working, building their goals, resting, and prioritizing peace. They avoid the drama, the arguments, the unrealistic demands. They choose environments where they don't feel judged or taken advantage of. It's not that they're hiding. They're protecting their quality of life from women who bring conflict more than cooperation. If women want to meet strong, respectable men, they have to shift out of habits that push those men away. You can't find men who value peace if your behavior constantly disrupts it. These men gather in places that align with their mindset, not in the chaos created by the same women asking where they've gone.
You know what it is, bro? A lot of women actually do get good men. Like, y'all really do get good men. But the thing is, a lot of women, that when they go through certain traumas, a lot of the times, it doesn't matter if you get with the right person or not. Right? Because even if you get with the right person, you're not going to be able to sustain in that relationship. You're not going to be ready. You're not going to be able to, act normal in that relationship. You know how many women think they know what a man is supposed to be like or look like, and they project, oh, a man's supposed to pay for my bills, a man's supposed to push in my chair. Like, there are certain, like, you do know this, right? There are certain things that you like, that's to your preference about what a man should do, that another female doesn't like or doesn't care about. You know what I'm saying? A man is going to come how he comes. And there are certain things that he has installed into himself that makes him a leader, whether you know what those qualities are or not. A lot of women don't understand and value certain qualities about a good man. So you don't even know what you're looking for. You just know what you see off of social media. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of women, like I tell people sometimes, you don't want to have to learn the hard way, right? Because the only way that you'll really understand the value of a man that you really had is when you lose him. And I see this happen a lot of times. A lot of y'all actually do be getting good men. You just don't sustain them. You don't keep them. You feel like there's an issue. You make an issue out of no issue. You know how many men would try to mold to do something that his woman likes, and even when he tries, she doesn't accept him for actually trying. She feels like it's not genuine. She doesn't give him that acknowledgement. She says, well, you should have been doing this, and she makes him feel unappreciative because it's like, well, as a man, you should have been doing this. Listen, you gotta accept that guy for who he is if you getting into a relationship with him. He's not gonna be perfect, just like you're not perfect, but at least you can meet him halfway. If your dude is not good with finances and you feel like he needs to lead the family and he needs to take care of all the finances, whatever, why can't you just handle the finances if you're better in that area than him? You know what I mean? If your guy has a hard time doing something and you know that you're good at doing it, and he's like, honey, I need you to plan the trips, honey, I need you to take care of these bills, honey, I need you to, manage our account in this area. It's not up for you to say, oh, well, you should be the leader, you should be doing that. He is leading, right? It's called, what do you call it? I forgot, but it's called the distribution of tasks, right? As the leader, he's like, hey, honey, you manage this, I manage this. If you have kids, you got to take care of this, da-da-da. He is orchestrating order in the house, and you can't even see it. All because you think you know what a leader is supposed to look like. And you actually don't even know. And you are not going to find out until it's too late. So don't wait till it's too late. If you feel like you got a good man, please go easy on that man. Appreciate that man. Learn and just talk to him and like appreciate the values and the qualities that he has as already being a good man. Because a lot of y'all have an opportunity, but you don't know how to optimize and take full advantage of a good man when you have one.
He made a strong point. Many women today aren't equipped to recognize a genuinely solid man when he's right in front of them. Not because good men are rare, but because some women spend more time preparing for excitement than stability. When a man shows consistency, patience, and character, they don't know how to respond because those qualities require maturity to appreciate and maturity to maintain. A surprising number of women claim they want a dependable partner, yet their actions conflict with that desire. They get accustomed to chaos or attention-driven interactions. So when a grounded man enters their life, he feels too calm or too simple. That confusion doesn't come from him being dull. It comes from her not being prepared for a relationship built on steadiness instead of drama. Good men aren't avoiding relationships. They're avoiding situations where their effort goes unnoticed. They've learned that giving loyalty and support to someone who isn't ready for it only leads to resentment. So instead of trying to win over women who aren't prepared for commitment, they invest their time elsewhere. That choice is a rejection. It's self-preservation. This is why so many of these men protect their environment. They stick to places and habits that bring them calm. They spend time in routines, hobbies, and communities where they're respected. They gather among people who appreciate their energy rather than drain it. Some women think these men are hiding, But in reality, they're simply avoiding situations that threaten their peace. If women want to keep a good man, preparation matters. Understanding emotional responsibility, practicing self-awareness, and learning to value consistency are essential. Without that growth, even the best man will slip through their fingers, not because he's difficult, but because they weren't ready for what he offered. And once he walks away, he rarely circles back. If you want more straightforward conversations on modern dating and how to build healthier connections, make sure you hit that subscribe button. More real insight is coming in the next video. No recycled lines, just clarity and growth.